Hello everyone, welcome. Just want to make sure this is working correctly as always. I do want to be in the correct. I think it's gonna stick me in Guild Wars 2, so I'm just gonna change the game myself real quick. Um, because I put a hashtag. I think anytime I have like a hashtag in there, that's like not the game that I play, it changes to that game. So I'm just gonna put it to that, so that way it's gonna be in gaming category and then in Guild Wars in the correct way. Let me start a poll here. All right, let's do that. All right, let me start the game here, guys. As always, we're going back to some more vanquishing. I was gonna say, or I told you guys that I was gonna do like more vanquishing off camera. I did not have time this week to do that. I had a very busy schedule. Oh, actually, let me stop that G-force. I do not want that. I was recording for a game today, and I don't want to, or for the video that I'm working on. It's almost done, so probably by tomorrow I will have the um, that coming out for you guys, which is going to be what we talked about last time, which is the staff revision stuff for the Elementalist. Let me log in here. Let me log in here. Um, but yeah, so welcome everyone. It is a quiet Sunday for me. I didn't really interact with a lot of people. I didn't do a lot of stuff. Just kind of hung out and worked on my video mostly. That was pretty much all day for me. Uh, the water is always so loud in this game. Let's turn that up and turn it down for me because I don't want to listen to that rushing sound effect, which I am still listening to it, but it's just not as loud. Yeah, so super super interesting. I just recently I didn't have time to actually watch the live stream, so I watched it yesterday and kind of have been sitting on this, and there's actually like, so I think the first live stream they did was a lot worse, and I think it just was because, which, you know, of course is now the meme of this, you know, Cal or whatever his name was, the guy drinking, you know, water or whatever. That became like the new meme where he needed like 20,000 bottles of water and stuff, and it just became a whole thing. Um, but I have to say, so I don't know. I'm. Hold on. Is there 6 in this? There's one minute. Um, yes, go there. Is that 6 here? Or is it still 4? It's still 4. I can only do 4 then here, right? Yeah, I can't do 6. Okay, so let's go to Zumai and let's try with 4. 4-man squad here. This is gonna be hard, guys. I think I'm gonna do some actual. I think I'm gonna take. Ogden, I think, is my healer. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I really like the unyielding aura. Um, I don't know why I don't know what I did there. Doesn't matter. Don't look at it. It's horrible. No, I want to have something that's cheap, right? You want to have something that's really cheap. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna do healing burst because I think that's gonna be really nice to have. And then maybe Master of Whispers to have some minions running around. Let's try that. I'm not sure if that's gonna work. I'll have to try it out. I'll probably fail a couple of times here, just because. I'm thinking I'm taking out Arcane Echo. I tried that for a little bit. That was pretty okay, but it's just, it takes such a long wind-up time for me to get anywhere with it, to the point where I'm like, what is the point? Seriously. Um, so I don't know. I can't do a PvE skill because I have too many of those already. Trying to be cheap here. I'm trying to do like cheap things, but I don't know. Maybe well, because this costs 10, so I'm trying to like use something that's not as expensive. Maybe just get something energy. Get some energy. Yeah, I could use this. It's fine. We'll try that out. Hey, how are you, Raygun? So yeah, so I wanted to talk about today specifically about the live stream, because there's, like I said just now, there is a couple of things that kind of really bother me about the stream. And I hate to be nitpicky, and I hate to be the guy that's like, I don't like this, I don't like that. It's just like some little things where I'm like, I think where they could improve it, you know. And it's not about just like, oh, they don't know what they're doing or whatever, you know. But it's about, to me, it's about like, you want to showcase your new classes properly, right? And I think they're not doing that. They're not properly showcasing all the classes. And here's why I think. So at one part in the live stream, this was on the Revenant class, right? The Revenant has the alliance. The new alliance is the new you know, both Victor, Saint Victor, and Archimeras are the ones that you channel and stuff. And the thing is that, you know, they're like, it's a dual thing where it's like attack and defense and healing kind of thing. Like it's split between those two, and that's perfectly fine. And I actually like that concept. I think it's pretty good because it opens up a lot of different like build varieties for the Revenant, I think. But I'm doing good. But the problem that I have with it is that the guy was like showing them off, and anytime it came to the point where it's like healing, he was just like, yeah, or you can do some heal. You know, if you want to, specifically what bugged me when he was going through the traits, and there was that bottom adept trait, and he was just like, yeah, or you can, you know, if you want to take that, you can take that and do some healing with it. Like, it was like the worst thing in the world for him to be doing, like picking maybe a healing spec, like a healing trait. And I was just like, what? Why is he being like that? Like, it was so weird to me, because I was just like, why is he being like that? It's so weird to me, where I'm like, he didn't like the whole healing aspect. And I'm like, I get that, like, there's probably multiple people working on it and stuff, but you have a spec that's like split in half, and we only pretty much demonstrated the damage dealing part of it, right? Whenever it came to like the healing, he's like, yeah, well, you can heal there if you want to. And it seemed like he didn't really want to showcase that part. He wanted to show how much damage he can do, because he would like showcase that a lot more than the other stuff. He would be like, oh yeah, look, when, you know, you can like AoE them like in a whole group and blah 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 blah. You know, with the healing, it seemed like he kind of didn't want to really show that. And it was really weird to me, where I'm just like, wow, this guy really does not like playing a healer, which is fine. But I mean, you're showcasing a class, so you need to be, I'm not saying he needs to be excited for all of the stuff. God knows I don't get excited for all that stuff. But you need to be like, hey, but you can do this, and you can do this, and, you know, maybe there's some like cool build crafting where you can do like a nice healing build. Or, you know, he did say that at some point, where you're like, oh yeah, you can have like, you know, with Ventari and stuff, you can have like a healing build in there. But I don't know, it just seemed very like, he wasn't very enthusiastic about the healing part of it. So it was kind of a little bit of a disappointment. It wasn't really where I'm just like, oh my god, the guy was so bad. No, that wasn't really it. But what I really dislike overall so far is, you know, and this touches on some of the stuff we've already talked about, but it's like all of the elite specs so far are like damage based, except for that Revenant now. You know, you get a little bit of like a boon support on the Harbinger, but other than that, it's all damage. Like, I don't understand why with the warrior, we get another melee damage dealing like spec, which is like, okay, the pistol is like mid-range and stuff, but they really just like want you with the blade sworn to be in that like gun stance and use the gun blade or whatever. And it's just like, wow, like there's no heal. Like I hope there's some healing coming, but again, we already have a healing spec on the Rangers, so I wouldn't expect it on that one at all, because you know that's already super healing. And then you have a heal scrapper as well, so that's already a thing that's been taken. So that's already like 2 classes. So I'm like, are you gonna do a healer on at least the thief? Are we gonna have at least one healing spec? Are we gonna at least have like yeah, it does, but again, it's just like, you know, it's the elementalist, so it's a trade-off, you know. And I think we already have a support build on that where it's like Tempest is super supporty, right? We already have that on the Tempest. The Tempest has like amazing healing like capabilities and stuff. So, and I think, yeah, the Catalyst does too and stuff, but I just think it's really built to do like damage again, because the weapon is like close range and you know, up in the face of the enemy and stuff. So I don't know, it just doesn't seem like I'm saying specifically like I want a spec that's like just catered towards support, like at least 1 out of 9. I'm not saying that I want like, you know, 4 out of 5 being like support or whatever, you know. I kind of just want like that one spec that has a lot of healing on it, which I think the Revenant could do. I think the Revenant has really the potential to do that. I think the Revenant really has the potential to be a really good healer, because some of those healing numbers on the like the dodge and stuff, like if you like when he traded for him and he didn't have, I don't think he had healing gear on him, and they were like in the thousands, and I'm like, if you like have some really good healing stuff on there, I'm like, you could do some really good healing on that. So I'm really excited to make like a healing rev with the like Saint Victor stuff. Like I'm excited to see that, because I think that's something you can really do and stuff. I'm gonna go by area here because this is weird. I'm gonna do all this part here first before I move on. It's gonna be hard to find all of them because they're like all over, and in here it's crappy, and you have the mountain and you have that. It's just like me, whatever. Yeah, and I just, you know, and it's just so damage focused. That's what I really, when I'm like, all the specs are like super damagey. I think the Harbinger has potential to be a like boon support, rather than where like the Scourge was like a, you know, you would focus on barrier and stuff like that, and it was just like pretty much straight healing in that sense. Where I think the Harbinger has potential, especially with that elite skill, where you have the elixir, the elite elixir there. Sadly, the Shroud doesn't really support that playstyle. Again, the Shroud is just a damage dealing Shroud, and that's all it is. It's a damage dealing Shroud. It doesn't have any other like, there's no like healing in there and stuff. Of course, you can augment that, of course, with like the blood magic line and get some healing out of like your force skill on the Shroud and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know how valid of a build that would make. Not sure. So, and there's not a lot of tanky stuff either. You know, I'm looking to like, I really want them to like shake up the like meta for like raids and stuff, and I feel like the meta for raids, I mean, the elixir, the boon support on Harbinger is great, but I think it doesn't synergize too well with the Shroud itself, which kind of is a shame. But I think that boon, you can make an amazing boon support on that. I think like, and even like boon support to the point where you don't lose DPS on it, like it's still gonna do a ton of damage on top of being a good boon support. I think it really has that potential on Harbinger. So I think Harbinger is pretty good. But like even like Tinky, because I don't know how like raids work, and I don't know how like that kind of stuff works, but I'm like, don't we have tanks too? Like they're not super traditional tanks, but Like, don't we have like tanks in game too? So it's like, don't we need something there too? I feel like don't we need something that can fill that role too, to be a tank? I don't, like I said, and I'm not good, and I'm sure you are better at it, mine, than I am. But if is any of the specs, do you think any of them would have potential to be like a quote unquote tank for raids? It didn't seem like it to me, but again, I don't know much about like raiding and tanking and stuff. Oh wow, that's crazy. That's not good. Well, Minion was telling me about her lag spikes too that she was having for Genshin or whatever. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm really. Yeah, I will never have a traditional, but don't they have like? Hold on, guys, I gotta change this. Like a floating head again. There we go. So, as you can see that I'm not just a detached body. But don't they have like there's tanks, right? Yeah, I know, but well, at least I mean, isn't there something that fills the role of tank or something? I know we never will. There's no way with the way that they have the combat and stuff. There's no way of having a traditional tank. But what does it mean for? Like, I know that they had like Chronomancer for the longest time was like a tank, but I'm like, I don't know why it was a tank. Was it just because it had shield or something and had like good alacrity back then or something, and now it doesn't have that anymore or something? I don't know. I want to see some build variety. I'm Bladesworn. I'm completely. I gotta tell you guys, like, it's probably my least favorite right now, and that's because it's another like close slash mid range damage dealing warrior, and I'm like, cool. We've seen this. This is the third time we've seen this on the warrior. There's nothing new. The skills were like, you know, they were kind of interesting or whatever. You can do like, you know, they have that 450,000 damage that you can do, which is like insane. You know, it's crazy. But like, I gotta say, like halfway through the trades, I was like, okay, I don't care. I'm skipping through this. I was just like, I don't know. It's probably because I'm not huge on warrior. It's probably for me. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. That's cool. Oh, I'm gonna die. Heal me, heal me. These Naga, I knew they were gonna be the problem children here. Oh, I'm getting interrupted. Can we kill this guy, please? Okay, distortion on Chrono. Got it. Okay. Interesting. So anything can tank. So we'll never really have a tank thing. I don't know. Like, are people excited for Bladesworn? I don't. The gunblade mechanic is pretty cool. Like, I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty flashy. Like, I can see its uses. I'm just not a warrior player, I think is what it is for me. So that's probably the least. I think right now, the most hyped, I'm probably for Virtuoso and for the Vindicator. I think those two right now are, which I already knew. Like, I knew the three classes that I'd be looking for would be Mesmer, Rev, and um, Thief when Thief comes. Like, those are going to be my top ones that I'm going to go for. Super excited for those. So I'm super excited to see Thief. I really, I don't know. I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with the Thief. So, Vindicator, I think the Vindicator has potential to be really good too. I think the Vindicator, like, I'm not huge on the Greatsword personally because I don't like great swords. But I think it already has pretty good weapons to be really good. I would have liked to have seen maybe another long-range weapon. But I think, you know, I think that the Revenant has pretty solid weapons. Like, dual sword. I'm really into, like, staff rev, so. Hey, Maxime. Do you go by Max or Maxime? Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to play them. So I'm thinking, and I don't know if this is gonna be good or not. My thought here with the Vindicator is because I really like staff on Revenant. I really am a big fan of it. Like, I don't know, I just like the weapon on Revenant, like the skills and stuff. Um, I want to make a Zealot's uh, Vindicator. I don't know if that's gonna be a good build though. I don't know if that's gonna be strong or not. I just think that I want to do some damage, but I also want to have some healing on there because I think you have some great, like some really awesome. Max is fine. All right, cool. Um, what was it? Could you go that way? Oh, I can go that way. Let's go that way. You can kind of snake around the mountain. Snake around the mountain. I think there's like really potential to be like a pretty decent like healing, like a damage slash healing. There wasn't a lot of the reason I say like zealots instead of using something that has like concentration like harriers or something is because there wasn't a lot of like regeneration and there wasn't a lot of like boons like specifically on the healing side of stuff. I didn't see a lot of like like, oh, this causes regeneration or this causes like whatever. Like even like might and stuff weren't like super huge on it. So that's why I'm saying like, we could probably go with like something that's like a hybrid damage healing thing. Like that's kind of my opinion on it. So I'm definitely gonna try that out with like a staff, which staff has some healing abilities, and you have to like orbs that you generate on the staff and stuff that enemies can or your friends can like walk through and stuff. Um, so I think to like that wouldn't be like the main healer, but to have like some extra sustain in there, and maybe have some like help out with healing in the group and stuff. Maybe I don't know. I'm not that good at build crafting, guys. I'm not, and I don't play very many like I don't know like things like that in general. So I can't believe that this group setup is actually working. Like Ogden does pretty good healing. I still think that healing burst, man, is a really good. That's 120. There's a 4-second cooldown. Only costs 5 energy. And all party members in earshot are healed for. Well, we have to look to see what they get healed for. They get healed for 10 because he doesn't have any. So they get healed for 10. They don't have any. He doesn't have any runes or anything on him. We already were on this side. Let's kind of walk around. So, but yeah, I think overall for the like actual live streams and stuff, I don't know. I feel like they could do more with them. Oh, and one thing that I found really embarrassing from their side is that they didn't know how to say the guy's name. And like I don't know, like is it terrible of me to like make fun of that? I feel horrible from like saying that, but I feel like specifically having what was her name, Indigo there, as one of the lore people that wrote all the lore about these, not knowing that person's name and stuff. I'm like, I mean, I get it, you can't know every name. I've seen the name before. I don't know. It's some kind of character in Guild Wars. I've seen the name before. I think maybe they have a skill already named after them in Guild Wars. But I'm like, you don't know how to say that name? Like, you're the lore person for Guild Wars. You should know how to say that name? And I was like, she didn't even try. Minstrels and assassins. Like a mix of both? Or just one build each? Like, or, yeah. Like, make a whole assassin's build and then a whole minstrel build. I think the problem I'm gonna run into is like, your skills swap over if you don't, if you don't use that alliance thing, that skill, the F skill there. Oh, I was gonna say, I'm like, that name is so not a mix. Okay, I got you. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like, and like I said, I don't know. I feel kind of bad for, perhaps making fun of them, but I feel like, she's specifically there for the lore, and she didn't even know how to say the name of the emperor that Shiro killed. I didn't even know that's who that was. See, I'm good with the lore, and I didn't even know. I knew that it was a character that we had known. Like, I've seen the name before, but I didn't know specifically, and I'm like, and she didn't even try, and she was like, well, I didn't want to try to make a fool of myself. I'm like, you know what? No one else would have known any better. There would be no one in like probably in chat that would have known exactly how to say it. And I would have just tried like what was it like Angxian or something? Angxian, something like that is what I would have said. But she didn't even know who that was. And that's what bugged me, right? For someone that like writes the lore for like characters and stuff in the game, I was like, ooh boy. All right. Where's Reese Sosby? Because I know she wouldn't have made that mistake. And that sounds horrible. And like I said, I don't want to make fun of these people's, I mean, it's their job and stuff, but still, I'm like, but that was just a little where I'm like, okay, so, you help them work on this class, on this thing, and you don't even know how to say that name. Okay, cool. Like, it looks to me like there's too many people that have their hands in the pie there, creating characters and stuff, so. And then some people were like, even saying, they were like, oh, no wonder this game was like pushed back, because nothing is finished. And it was interesting because they didn't have the art finished. And I also noticed on the Vindicator specifically, the, like around your skills, you get that effect. And you have that little, I think it's the energy bar that changes color or something. And it was in the Ventari colors. It has had the leaves flying up and stuff, and I was like, oh wow, okay. It wasn't just the image on the traits that didn't have that, but it was like that little the little energy that you get around your skills, like had like the Ventari leaves coming off of it. I'm like, oh, they don't even have that yet. I'm like, all right, okay. Yeah, I think so. And I don't know. I think, yeah, it's kind of a shame when it comes to the lore, I think. The problem, I think, is that they probably have people that, like, used to write that lore. Like, I feel like there's games out there, like, and I'm not 100% sure on this. I don't know that much about it. But, like, World of Warcraft. You look at World of Warcraft, I'm sure there's, like, lore people that have been there with World of Warcraft that have been writing the lore since the beginning, right? And they're still there. Okay. Now, I think in Guild Wars, I think a lot of the people that used to write the lore and stuff, they're gone now. I think out of a lot of the like AAA MMOs or whatever you want to say, I think ArenaNet has like a higher turnover of people, like specifically like developers, because we constantly have like new people that are on stream, we constantly have new people in these trailers, we constantly have new people that like I have never seen before, that I don't know who they are, and I always think back of like the people that they used to show us, the people that they showed us. Like I think back of the, like I said, Reese Sosby, for example. I was like so huge on Reese Sosby because she wrote one of the books, and she was like one of the huge lore people and stuff. And I'm like, why isn't she on one of these streams? Does she still work there? I don't know if she does. I don't even know if she does or not. But, it's just like, and that's true. That's very true. So, but I just feel like, having that turnover of a lot of people, and probably in people that create the lore and write the lore and stuff like that, you get that like disconnect. I feel like a lot more, where like with World of Warcraft, it's always been one game that's gone through, where I think like Guild Wars 1 was like its own game, and it had its own lore and stuff, and then Guild Wars 2 has its own game, has its own lore, but bases a lot of their stuff on Guild Wars 1. And then there's people that probably have never worked on Guild Wars 1 that work there now that have no idea about the lore and stuff like that. So I don't know. I just think that I think that's what they run into. It's just not. Whoa, how did he get damaged? Oh, they are attacking each other? That's interesting. Okay, well, let's just help out. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, like I said, a lot of those older people that have been there before. I mean, I feel like maybe they want to give, like, newer people a spotlight too or something. But I'm like, I don't know. You're presenting your new expansion and you want to seem as professional and as great and you want to make it really awesome. You know, this is the time to pull in people. This is really time to get the people hooked on the shit that you're trying to sell to them. You know, and you don't necessarily, like, I don't know, I feel like those are very important streams. So they should have, like, really good people there. That's just kind of my thought on it, so. Well, to me, it seems like, and I feel like that's where I was kind of talking about earlier, where I think a lot of different people have their hands in the pie, because it seems to me like she wrote the lore, and then someone else worked on the traits, and whoever worked on the traits kind of looked at like, oh, which character can I use from the story that I can put in there? And she never got to look at that. She never got to review that. And it was just kind of like, yeah, okay, you can present it and you talk about the stuff that you did for that elite spec, and that's all you're going to talk about. So when it came time to, like, okay, there's now a trait that's named after a character in lore, she had no idea that character was in lore there, because she seemed way too surprised. She was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to have to do some homework when I get home tonight. And I'm like, it seems to me like she based nothing that she wrote, the things she did, specifically on maybe that time period or that particular, like, you know, like, character or whatever. She didn't think of, like, looking up the emperors because the, you know, the Vindicator doesn't really have anything to do with that. And, like, they're based off of, like, the Luxons and the Kurziks, you know, and that's what she probably concentrated on when she wrote that character. She didn't think there would be a mention of this emperor all of a sudden, you know, that was important at the time or whatever. I don't know. It just, you know, like I said, it just, to me, screams that, like, hey, there's too many people working on this stuff that are not, like, communicating. So it's very important to communicate on something like that, I think. And I don't know. I think specifically when it comes to, like, names and stuff, a lot of the names, which, you know, is such a minor thing, and it's not going to really, by the time that the game comes out, like, or the expansion comes out and stuff, I'm not even going to care about it. But a lot of the names I really hate. Like, so, like, in my head, now that we know the Bladesworn is a thing, I think that is why they called the Virtuoso the Virtuoso, because they didn't want to call it a blade. They could have called it the Blade Song and just have the skills also be blade songs, right? That would have fit so well, but it would be really similar to a Blade Sworn. But why did they go to the Blade Sworn? Like, the blade in that part of the spec is only half of what the spec is, you know? And I'm like, okay, you're basing, again, it's Warrior that already uses a bunch of blades as is. So what is really the part that makes it a Blade Sworn? You know, I don't know. And I question that with a lot of them. You know, Harbinger, I'm like, okay, Harbinger, how is it a Harbinger, though? Which I think with a lot of the other things that they did before, the other elite specs, you know, those name conventions work a lot better, because you look at, like, Spellbreaker, for example, and it's like, it's a Spellbreaker because it breaks spells. Like, it's an anti-mage, right? So that makes super sense, and it really rolls into the theme of the spec, which I don't think, like, Virtuoso really does. Like, nothing about that has anything to do with music or anything with sound or anything like that. Just because you call the F abilities blade songs doesn't make them like, doesn't make it music based or sound based spec. You know, I could have seen a virtuoso being a bard. You know, that kind of works together, I think, personally. So, Harbinger, I'm like, yeah, okay, you get the Harbinger Shroud, right? But they had to rename the Shroud that you already had because of that, because they named it the Harbinger. They could have come up with better names. So it seems very like, really? Like, who came up with these names? Did they just not care to, like, really put a lot of thought into it? Willbender also, like, Willbender I can kind of see because it does fit fairly well into the theme of, oh god, we're gonna die here. This is definitely not, yeah, this is not good. Our healer died. We gotta get the mender, guys. He's gonna heal them. Oh, they use healing burst. Get out of here. Dude, get the other mender. Get the other mender. Get the other mender. Hey, Alex, how are you? Yeah, I just think, like, Max talking about that, like, they didn't talk to each other, you know, like I said, communication is key and stuff. But I also think, like, it seems to me more than just, like, they didn't think to communicate. To me, it seems like they don't think those streams are important enough. And I'm like, this is the only communication that you have to your player base to really show them, you know, these streams. Like, that's your big ticket in selling these elite specs and selling this stuff. So I think, like, I don't know, it seems to me like they're not taking that serious enough, maybe, in a way. So Catalyst. So Catalyst, I think, again, naming convention. Again, what makes it a catalyst? Like, a catalyst is something that, like, isn't a catalyst something that, like, like powers something else or something like that, or like triggers something else? I'm like, seems kind of like, not huge on the name. Once again, none of the names so far have really, like, the Vindicator is pretty good. Ooh, look, I got a green. The Vindicator is pretty okay. I think the Vindicator is pretty, it kind of feels very Revy in the way that it is, especially with the 2 legends that you have and stuff. But yeah, so Catalyst, I don't know, the name, the mechanic, I like the mechanic. The orb mechanic seems really cool. I'm a big fan of that. I love the whole, like, building up energy to, like, place it, and it, like, pulses out its stuff. I think that's really cool, especially having it based on the Celestials, right? I made a whole video about these Celestials, and we haven't heard anything about the Celestials, and I loved it. Was so good to hear them say, like, oh, well, this looks like the Celestials, but it doesn't really have anything to do with it, which gives me hope for the Celestials to have their own spot in the lore finally and be important and not, like, overlooked. Maybe, I don't know, but it just gives me that hope. So I really love the mechanic. I love seeing the animations of that. I think it's really cool seeing the dragon, seeing the Kirin, seeing those things. It was great. The weapon, I really dislike the weapon. I think they could have really done something better. I mean, even, like, a lot of people were asking for, like, a bow. I just want a long range. Like, we don't have any long range, and I hate to, like, bandwagon with other people on this because I'm not the type of person to do that, but I really have to agree with a lot of people on this. Like, I want another long range weapon for the Elementalist. So, you know, having, like, a half mid-range, half melee weapon, I'm like, whatever. At least it doesn't seem super slow. Like, I think it's like the 2 skill on the hammer or whatever. It's like this flurry of attacks where you attack really fast. So that was pretty good to see. It seems to do some pretty decent damage and has some cool skills and stuff. So I liked seeing that. I don't think the skills themselves are really that bad. I'm just not a fan of hammer, and I'm not a fan of having another melee weapon. But then we get into traits, right? And the traits, I'm a little torn. You love the hammer? Well, that's good. I mean, you know, some people really like hammer gameplay and the weighty feel of the hammer and stuff. And having that with like elemental power, I can really see why some people would like that. I just, I don't care for it really at all. But, you know, that's, I mean, like I said, I would just really have liked to have seen another long range weapon. What was my second? My first elite spec that I made, Speculation, had a trident, which again, in the new video that I have coming out, I talk about that a little bit, but I don't think we're ever, I think this is very, this is a big indicator for us, and I will tell you guys right now, I don't think we're ever going to see underwater weapons on land. I think this was the big ticket show where a lot of people were like, bring them on land, and they didn't do it. I don't think they're ever going to do it. I just don't think so. Which is a shame, but, you know, whatever. I forgot what was the thing. I forgot what the second elite spec was that I made for the Elementalist. I can't think of it. No idea. That's okay. Anyways, but then we go into the traits of the Catalyst, right? And the Catalyst traits weren't bad. They were pretty good, like, traits. I thought the traits were pretty good. The only issue I have with them, they seem very lazy. Like 3 out of 12 of them, what the, you know, or let's say 3 out of the 9 made like choosable ones were gain elemental empowerment based on something that you do. And I'm like, it seems kind of a little bit lazy, uninspired, but it's still good because I like the elemental empowerment. Because I kind of, on the very, like I said, the sorcerer, my first elite specialization speculation for the elementalist, I actually had almost exactly something like that as a thing where you get like it's like almost exactly like the elemental empowerment where you get like stronger like each second. I think I had it or whatever. So that I'm like, actually I really like the elemental empowerment idea. I just think they could have maybe interacted with it a little bit different. But I think the other half of the traits were actually pretty good and they're pretty solid. I think they were pretty like, I'm like, okay, I like that. I'm like, they again gave you like a good split between like different things that you can do on them and stuff. So the traits themselves, I think, are really well, like, I think they complement a core elementalist really well, where I think a lot of the traits don't necessarily play around you having to have a hammer or having to be in close range, so that it kind of like, okay, we got a hammer and that's not a long range, but that's okay because we can just use the other weapons that we have. So I kind of, yeah, well, I was talking about my own. I was talking about my own that I came up with. So, but I think, you know, like it's pretty good. Where I think the Weaver being like this fast-paced, like swapping between your different attunements and stuff, and then I think Tempest being a little bit more like where you maybe want to stay in your attunement and use your overloads a little bit, where now you have like the middle ground a little bit where you want to swap but maybe not as often or something. Like I think they reach like a good like middle point with it. So that the Catalyst I'm not super like against. I actually really want to try it out, and I really want to try it out with specifically a staff. I want to try it out with the staff and see how it like really interacts with the staff and stuff, like just pure long range. I really want to see how that feels, because I think it has the potential to be actually feel like a pretty decent spec even if you use a staff. So I don't know. Oh, we finished this area. Nice. That wasn't too hard. We didn't die or anything. That was great. Let's try the other side of that. So, but that's, I mean, you know, and then like I said, Bladesworn, like I said, I turned it off. Like I skipped ahead halfway through the traits. I was like, don't care anymore. I'm over it. I really was. I'm just like, it's another like close mid-range warrior. We've seen it all. There's nothing too special about any of this crap. I don't know. So if I'm like, I might have missed something very important on it. I mean, I saw the point where he did like 450, or he said he could do 450,000 damage on an enemy, and I'm like, all right, cool. You know, that's pretty impressive, and that's cool and all, but I don't know. You're right, gunslinger. I had double pistol. See, again, it was a long range weapon, or mid range. I made it mid range. So much better. And I hate to toot my own horn. Like, maybe the sorcerer wasn't that great because it was super boring staying in one. Like, the sorcerer I had specifically just staying in one attunement. Like, that was the big thing for the sorcerer. But I just, like, specifically the gunslinger, honestly, when I made that, I'm just like, I wanted to play that. You know that feeling when you like, I don't know, I can't describe it, but it really made me like, I was like, this sounds like so much fun to play. And I was really like, yeah, I could see this being a thing. Okay, these are all weapons. I have a green. I'm gonna sell that. I don't care to have that. I have so many greens anyways. So the spell singer specifically, I don't know. For me personally, I really like the sorcerer because I like the idea of staying in one attunement, and you know, it was built pretty much in the opposite direction of what the weaver was, which the weaver encourages you to swap attunements as often as you can to get like all these fields out and just chain all these attacks and gain all the like from your stances, gain all the extra stuff from the stances and stuff, all the conditions and all the like extra stuff you can get out of it and blah 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 blah, you know, and from your traits and stuff. And I don't know, the sorcerer was really like, no, stay in one attunement, and if you swap, you lose out. You know, you kind of, that's your payoff. If you swap your attunements, then that's not good, and you don't want to do that, you know. And I was just, I mean, you want to do that only if you really need to do that kind of thing. So so yeah, I love seeing Xingje, guys. Xingje is awesome. So, but overall, Catalyst I think is gonna be a good spec. But I'm most excited right now for Virtuoso. I think Virtuoso is just pretty, like, they laid it all out. We got to try it, and you know, I'm like, they don't really need to, like, they need to tweak like some stuff to like where it interacts with the like building of the blades that doesn't interact with the traits that deal with changing your or you know, where you build illusions or whatever. Whenever you get an illusion, it does something. Like, there's some bug fixes they need to do, but overall I think like Virtuoso is like great the way it is, I think. And then like the Vindicator, man, I can't, I'm really excited on Tuesday to try out some really cool stuff with the Vindicator. I really think that's cool. I mean, and that's the thing, like, even if it was a 900 range, that's not like, that's not long range to me, you know, because I don't know, it's just, you know, long range, I really want, like, I don't know, I just think like 1500 is even too much. I think just having another weapon that's 1200 would have been fine, and would have much, like, more people would have preferred that, you know. I think that's really what the Elementalist needs. But you know, it is what it is, and I have a video coming out for you guys who didn't hear that part of my when I first started streaming earlier. I have a video coming out that I talked about last time on Tuesday, where I taught where. So, and this is how it happened chronologically. I want to explain. Oh my god, they do so much damage to Kappas. I totally forgot about that. They do, like, see? Okay, guys, right here, before I get into this, so Kappas are water elementalists, and they do so much damage. Okay, they do a ton of damage, which is awesome. But it's also kind of sad that we don't get to do that in Yellow's too, really. Go, Widlock, help. Help out. Do your thing. We need you. No, kill the little ones first. If we can kill the little ones first, that'd be great. Alright. Nope. Okay, that didn't really work. But yeah, so on Tuesday, I was talking about working on the staff and redoing the staff skills, okay? And I presented some ideas, I talked about some stuff, and I didn't want to really make a video of it. I kind of like, I posed a question of like, hey, should I make this into a video? And then the catalyst was revealed, and it was not a long range hammer, and I was like, I have to make this video now, okay? Because I think that specifically and so then I was like, okay, well, should I make this video? And I looked at specifically the elementalist staff skills, and I was like, heck yes, I need to make that video. There is so much stuff in this in the elementalist staff spec that needs to be updated really badly, and I blame it solely on them like I say this in the video, I kind of talk about that. They seem to concentrate on just fire. Every time they update skills, it's always like they either nerf fire or they like increase some of the damage on some of the fire skills or something. It's always fire. It's always fire that they're like making it stronger, making it better in some way, or even nerfing it. You know, and you look at the list. I actually in the video you're gonna see the list. I have it in the video, and the video is probably gonna come out tomorrow. But I have there. It's crazy because you look at the list of meteor shower changes, and there's, I'm not even lying, there's probably like 10 to 12 changes that they've made over the last 9 years to just the meteor shower. Just the meteor shower alone. Just so many changes. I mean, just like insane, right? And you look at things like gust and unsteady ground and windborne speed, and they have like one change in the last 9 years. I'm like, this is why people want another long-range weapon, because the one weapon that we have is they've solely focused on upgrading and updating the fire skills and not doing the same for the other attunements. The other attunements, like, there's one skill where I literally, when I read that, I was like, oh my god, that's really what it does. And it baffled me, because if I compare that to other weapon sets on any other class, I'm like, it's so bad. And now specifically Gust, the 3 skill on air, it knocks back 5 enemies. That's all it does. It does a little knockback. That's all it does. It does no damage. It does no condition. It does nothing. And it's like a 30-second cooldown. I'm like, that's not even that good. And it's one projectile that goes in a line. So even hitting 5 enemies is almost impossible, because hitting them in a line is really hard to do. Even in PvE, where a lot of groups like stack up, it's hard to hit enemies specifically in a line, right? And I'm like, wow, and they haven't updated any of that stuff. So I literally went through on this video, and I don't want to get too much into the video, because at that point you might not have to watch the video, but I just kind of made some ideas on some changes that they could make on this, on the staff skills. I go through every single staff skill, and I kind of give my opinion on what I think they could do, or that has potential to be changed, or that they could improve. And it's not anything like world breaking. It's not anything where it's like, oh my god, air is going to be so much stronger than fire now. It's not. It's never going to be. And I didn't improve the skills that much, but I just gave it little tweaks here and there where like I really feel like it's just gonna feel a little bit better to use specifically in PvE. Um, so yeah, that's the video that's gonna come out, and I really hope you guys watch that and let me know what you think. And you know, if people really like that video, if people are like, if it's gets a good reception from people, I might make more, because I have, we talked about this before, I have other ideas for like other weapons and stuff where I'm like, I could tweak that, or we could tweak that, you know, whatever. And I say we because I feel like we're a community of players, and God knows I'm not good enough in the math of things, or I'm not good enough in like just in general of like the different skills and stuff to make all this stuff up by myself. I mean, I did it with like the elite specs, but it was all like without numbers, and it was all like without like saying like, and it could do this and this and this and this, and like without making like a set of 12 traits and stuff. Like I didn't do that. I gave like examples of what traits I could see on it, and I gave examples of like skills that I could see, you know, and stuff like that. But this is more like I there's a lot of writing on the screen and stuff, and you know, it's just like I write it out like, okay, this skill I want to improve this, like I want to have like improve the targets from like 2 to 3 or whatever, you know, or reduce the cooldown by like 5 seconds on this skill, or you know, things like that, where it's just like, oh, increase the bleeding on this, or give some more damage on that, or whatever, and I write it all out. So it's really that particular, and like I said, I'm not good with the numbers. I'm sure some of the numbers are really fucky. Someone's gonna look at that and be like, what the hell are with these numbers? Like, this would be way crazy, or this wouldn't really make a change, for example. You know, like someone could be like, okay, you're looking to increase the damage, but you're only doing it by like 100 points. That doesn't really do much or something, you know. And then I'll be like, well, I don't know about the numbers. I don't know how it affects the like multipliers and the like, you know, you have like just insane amount of damage on certain things and stuff. Like I don't know how that all works, so I kind of stay away from that in that sense, where I'm like, I just give the ideas, and I'm like, if it's not right, and let me know, you know. And that's kind of the goal of that, is like for people to like let me know, like, is that good, is that bad, like, do you hate it, do you like it, what do you think, you know. I want people to like, you know, we're a community, and I want people to like really as a community come up with this stuff. I don't want people to just watch my videos just because I'm doing. Okay, is he, do you guys see that? Master of Whispers is like way down there. Come on, dude, hurry up, fucker. But yeah, so that's gonna come out tomorrow, and then like I said, I might make more of those. We'll have to see. I don't know if there's gonna be more. If people are really hating on it, if people are really like, I don't like these ideas, then I'm not gonna do it again. I'm just gonna stick to the stuff that I'm doing. So, but I think right now is a good time to talk about that, because I think that, and I got a little bit of inspiration because last night I watched the Endwalker job action changes that they're doing for Final Fantasy 14, and they're doing some really significant changes on a lot of older classes, and they're changing a lot of stuff up, and I'm like, I miss this. I miss that in Guild Wars, where it's like, you know, they do the balance patches and stuff like that, but they do them so far and few between, and what they really are doing in those balance patches isn't that significant. Like, they don't change skills around completely or redo something like that, or they don't, you know, they don't do any of that stuff. Where like I saw some of the Final Fantasy 14 changes where I'm like, and I didn't even I didn't even read about it, right? I only heard that they were doing these changes, and I looked up a video, and there's a video where they're just show off the visual effects of all the skills that they have. It doesn't really do any like numbers, and it doesn't do any numbers actually. It just kind of shows off like, these are the new skills, and this is what they look like, and it's like, wow, cool, like that's what they're changing. And like, I looked at the scholar stuff, for example, and I was like, oh my god, like, you know, they're incorporating the like fairy theme a lot more in some of the skills, and they look really cool. Like, I don't know what skills they were that they used. I have no idea, but I was just like visually already like they improved a lot of stuff there. You know, it's a pretty game as is. Like the visual skills of that game are like top notch. I mean, it looks really clean and really good. So, but I love that they went through every class and they did like on some classes some significant changes. You know, they did on the summoner where they had the like you get instead of like just summoning the like the spirits of like Ifrit, the what are they called, like Aegis or whatever, Ag or whatever. I forgot what they're called. Some EGI or whatever, Eggy. Look, there's the dragon statue, guys. I talk about that all the time. I love it. I love that dragon statue right there. But yeah, you know, and they like they show off how like you can actually summon those actual spirits and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, it's so cool. Like I love that so much, you know. I'm a huge fan of that. I'm like, this is great. So I just, you know, that rant pretty much went to like, I wish they would do the same thing for Guild Wars 2, where they, you know, I don't know, they would look at some of the older skills and update them. Just really look at them and update some of these older weapon sets. And I get that balancing is a hard job, and I get that balancing, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, it's one of the top MMOs that has like a pretty decent developer number as far as I understand it. Again, I'm not a developer. I'm not in the industry. I have no idea how to make a game. I don't know how many people it takes to make a game. I have no clue, okay? But I think that Guild Wars or ArenaNet has comparable numbers to other top MMOs in terms of developers and stuff like that, where I'm like, okay, why can't they do the same thing, or at least attempt to do something like that, where like they do the balancing and they change older skills, you know, they look at older stuff. Like you see it all the time happen in other MMOs, and just in Guild Wars 2 just doesn't happen that often. And that's where, you know, it kind of falls to like it kind of gets to the point where some of these other skills fall behind, right? They fall behind because they haven't been updated, they haven't been looked at. And specifically, I think some of the staff skills on the Elementalist haven't been looked at in a very, very long time, and just slight tweaks could just make him great. And honestly, there's only one, no, actually two animation skills that I'm proposing in that entire video, right? It's a 34-minute video. I talk about 20 different skills, right? Because it's like 5 times 4, it's 20 skills, and I only have 2 skills where I would visually change them. I think visually it's pretty good the way it is, and I wouldn't want to say like, oh, change all the skills, change the animations, change everything. I know that that's probably being really unreasonable and stuff. Oh, really? They have that many? They have that many developers? Well, I mean, they kind of can afford it at that point, you know, being Square Enix and stuff. But I don't know. I just think that they, I don't know. I just think that they should maybe focus on that a little bit more. But you know, they've already stopped focusing on so many other things. They've really stopped focusing on raids and fractals, and PvP has fallen behind. You know, we haven't gotten a new PvP map in like forever and stuff. And I don't know, it's just a shame that it's really just come to, we make new content, we don't look back at old content, and we make new elite specs and we don't look back at older skills. That's what it's really come to. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm a fan of that. You know, if I need to pay a subscription, like honestly guys, and this sounds probably really dumb and some people will probably disagree with me, I just think that if I have to pay a subscription in order to get that kind of thing, I think Guild Wars 2 has the potential of really doing that. Like, let me pay a subscription. I mean, I already give them a ton of money just based on my gem store purchases. I will tell you guys that right now. But yeah, I mean, if that's what it takes, you know, there's people that spend like a ton of money on the game. And you know, if they need to get more developers to do that, but they need more money to do that, then I will sacrifice. I would definitely pay a sub, or at least give me like, and I've talked about this before, where I would like to have some kind of like gem store subscription, maybe, where they could like, you know, with each subscription, like each month, you pay like, let's say $15 or whatever, you know, and you get like, you get some gems every month, and you get like maybe some like boosters or some like just generic stuff, you know, like a couple of items just to like show the appreciation of it, right? I feel like they hit on that a little bit with the like requisition stuff, where they have like, you buy that requisition thing and you get like for like 4 weeks in a row, you get like items sent to you. That kind of is in that same idea. And I'm not saying like they should send me a mount skin every week or every month even, like that would be too much already. But I'm like, you know, have a little subscription where I get like for $15 a month, I get like a few items out of the gem store, or like even just gems, you know, just give me some gems every month and I'd pay like $15 a month. I don't care, you know, just like some kind of like premium, you know, premium thing that you can have or whatever, you know. And I, you know, that would be really cool, because I would subscribe easily. Like I would be like, for a whole year please, right now I'm gonna subscribe right now, you know, like. And I'll tell you guys right now, over the years since the game has come out, I've probably spent, and this is no lie, this is probably, I've probably spent anywhere, and this is a rough estimate because it's been 9 years, so you know. Oh, another gold. I've spent about anywhere between $3,000 and $5,000 on the game, which I think in 9 years is not that much. I don't know, but I've really have spent that much money. Like I have outright, my very first legendary, I outright paid for with gems. I bought gems to buy the Flameseeker Prophecies. I straight up bought them with gems that I bought with my money. Like, I think that was like $300 in gems that I had to, you know, this is like a long time ago or whatever, you know. Yeah, I know you like Regan, you're like wailing the fucking shit out of it right now, where you're just spending so much money, you know. And I can agree with that, you know. I can agree with like dropping money on content, but I just think in order to avoid that, because I feel like that exactly how you have that mindset is what a lot of people that spend money on the game have. They do it based on, okay, why is my character spinning? Stop spinning. Stop it. Okay, Jesus Christ, did you see that? He kept on spinning. Like, stop it. I think a lot of the people like have the same mindset that you have, where, and I had that for the longest time too myself. I've kind of been a little bit more lax on it now over the last couple of years, but you know, they say, oh no, I'm only gonna spend money if I can, if they release good content. Like, you know, it's almost like a reward thing, right? They give us something good and you're like, you know what, you deserve some money, so here it is, right? And that's not a bad mindset to have at all. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I think that's a good mindset to have. But you are a whale, right? You're the literal definition of a whale. You just buy the shit with your real life money, but you know, whatever. But I think in order, where right now we have a quote unquote content drought, right? We kind of do have a content drought. We have Season of Dragons coming, but it's content that we have already seen before, just redone. Like we're doing the same content again. They could have a subscription thing where they could give us gem store stuff. They have so many items for the gem store and stuff. I could always use gems for something, you know, some kind of fashion or some kind of mount. You know, I would like to get more mount skins, but every time I have gems, I'm like, I find other things to use it on. So, you know, and you can like always convert those to gold too. So it's like, if you don't want to use your gems, you could just get gold for it, you know. But just give me a subscription that I can do where I can show my support and you give me something from the game, so that I don't have to wait on you to release content for me to do that, you know. And I think that would really help them out, because a lot of people would just passively have that subscription and they wouldn't necessarily cancel it just because for a couple months there hasn't been an update on the game, when it hasn't been a new release or something. They're just like, oh well, you know, I'm still gonna keep it because I'm gonna get my gems, you know. I'm just gonna wait until my subscription like renews for the month, you know, my monthly subscription comes back, and I'll just buy this item that I'm looking for or whatever, you know. Ray pays Anat's bills. That's really funny. That's really funny. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there could really be something with like a subscription model. They could really do something. And I think like this, like I said, the requisition drops that we get are, I think are like a step in that direction. Because I get those, I get every single one of those. Because I'm like, oh, you end up getting so much crap out of it. You know, you get like mount skins and you get like gliders and back pieces and stuff. And it's like not necessarily stuff that I would go for, but you kind of get to pick it out, right? They give you like an outfit voucher, for example, and you can like pick an outfit. And I'm like, oh, you know, maybe I'll pick this outfit. Like, I kind of like it, but I would never like spend money on it. But now that I have a voucher, well, why not get it? You know, it's like, it's really like, I don't know, that I think that's a really interesting idea that ArenaNet needs to just explore more. It's a lesser Oni. Interesting. I don't see those very often. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anyone has any other ideas of how to make a subscription work for Guild Wars. I just think that the game itself has so much potential to even be better than what it already is. And like, honestly, if they had gone with a subscription model with it, they would have killed, like, subscription model, meaning that they would have had more money to have a larger group of developers. I think would have ended up really killing World of Warcraft. It has the potential to really be the quote unquote Warcraft killer, kind of. But just because it's a free-to-play game, which the base game now is free-to-play, you know, it's a buy-to-play expansions pretty much, just kind of never made it reach the true potential. It really has always missed its true potential. Of course, I think there's also that discussion with like having spaghetti code. I think it's something that holds back the developers so much, to the point where I've already said so many times, I'm like, I just wish they would have like Guild Wars 2 on a new engine with a new code, with, you know, stuff that, like, I talked about this the other day, where they're like, you know, there was this stream like years ago, I forgot what release it was. I think it was like during Heart of Thorns, right? And they talked about like Tangled Depths or whatever. And I remember how the guy that was that's in charge of the world map says that he doesn't know how the world map works, but he just knows that it works, and he never has touched the code because he doesn't know what anything in the code does. And it boggles my mind, because this is the world map we're talking about. This is shit that we interact with every 20 seconds in the game. You interact with that world map non-stop, but no one of the development team knows how it works. It literally blows my mind. Like, when I heard that, I was just like, that's a scary thought. That's a really scary thought, right? Like, just thinking about that gives me anxiety. I'm like, oh my god, the uncertainty of that. Where it's like anything that you could possibly enter into that code could potentially break the entire world map. No, No, that is nightmare fuel. As a developer, I would probably cry myself to sleep if that was like the case. Like if I was a developer. I don't know where I want to go. I think I'm gonna kill these guys up here. You know, and it's the same with like I think they talked about because it just happened to me today. Oh Jesus, what's going on in Radasoon? Why are you in Radasoon? What's going on in Radasoon though? We're all there. The same as with like if you have ever seen the candy corn nodes around the world, I'm pretty sure they said the exactly same thing. They have no idea what causes them to appear. They have no idea, and they attempted to fix them at one point. I think there was a conversation on one of the streams that they had at some point where one of the developers said that they tried to fix it and they ended up breaking something else. So they ended up going back to what it was before, but they have no idea how to fix the problem. They don't know how to fix that issue with the candy corn nodes that you see as you walk around the world. They just pop up for a second and then disappear. They don't know what causes it. I'm like, what? What? That's like, it's so weird to me because I'm just like, that's crazy. That's so scary to think that the game is so fragile and no one knows what this stuff does, you know? It's just well, you know what? You should do the human story. It's much faster anyways. What is the fastest to do? I don't know what the fastest story to do is. No idea. But yeah, I just think that the spaghetti code is something that holds ArenaNet back to the point where I think releases take longer than they want it to because they don't understand the code, or something in the code is breaking, you know, something they're trying to implement is breaking something else in the code, and then they have to like figure it out. And I can really imagine them just sitting there like having like 2-3 developers for like a whole week looking at this like string of code, and something in that code is breaking something else somewhere in the game, and they can't have that happen, so they sit there for like a whole week trying to figure it out, and no one can figure it out. And I'm like, that would be so, ugh, that's so crazy. Well, no, I mean, that's the thing though. There's a lot of stuff in the game that there's no, like, apparently there's like no notes about them or whatever. Like, none of the old developers that have made the code have ever. I love that statue so much. It looks so cool. Look, it's the deep sea dragon, guys. There's like, is there exactly 2 of these statues? There might be exactly 2 statues. Isn't there like another one up here, right here? That's the other statue, and then this is the one. There's only two statues. Again, might have to do with 2 of the 2 deep sea dragons. My theory might come true, guys. But yeah, I've seen it where they don't have to upgrade that particular part of the code, right? The candy corn nodes, they know how to activate that code, they know how to deactivate that code, but they don't know how like the code works. And so with them popping up throughout the year, they don't know what causes that to happen. And I don't know, it's just a scary thought to think about that, where I'm like, wow, you know, me as a developer, I'd be probably really intimidated to have that happen to me, where I like sit there. Ooh, elite warrior tome. Nice. Don't kill. Oh no, Ridlock is dying. Oh, okay, you got here. Well, and I think that's where it comes into, where they try to update something, or they try to like implement something like a new map or something here and there, and they try to not touch, like, you will notice that a lot of stuff was divided between, like, you know, obviously it's done for a reason that way, where like, for example, Quarteria maps and Quarteria achievements and Quarteria masteries and Quarteria by itself is very divided from everything else, right? Like, for example, candy corn nodes. You don't find them on other maps, I don't think. I don't think they appear on, like, expansion maps. Maybe they do? Do they? I don't think they do. And that's probably because they don't want to touch that, and they don't want to have it cause something in the new maps. If it does, then I'm wrong. But, you know, that's, I don't know. But yeah, I just think a lot of that stuff just stems from them not knowing the code and knowing those things, and that kind of, I think, goes into the whole idea of a content drought, you know, because it probably takes them just so much longer to make like a new what's the word, like a new release and stuff. It just takes them a very long time to work on that because they have to like make sure that nothing else in the code is breaking, instead of just being able to like, oh, release it, we don't have to like worry about it because we know it's not going to break something else or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I'm scared for that itself. That's happening on Tuesday as well. So we'll see if that doesn't, like, I'm ready for it. I want to try it out. I want to see if it works. This is gonna be hard stuff here, guys. Almost done with this map though. Alright, come on. Okay, come on. The Ritualist, does he heal? He probably does. Let's go for the Ritualist. Ooh, I got a channeling stat. Nice. Wow, that was actually really good. I can't believe we made it through that so well. I was not expecting that. Ooh, we're getting attacked from behind. See, we even got squished and oh, I thought there was an item there, but it was just a sign. I saw a sign or something. I forgot what song it was. Ooh, silver crimson skull. A copper crimson skull. Skull coin. It's a coin. That symbol is really cool. I think it's Imagine Burden. Oh yeah, she doesn't die. That was the thing of her, wasn't it? She was like really hard to kill. That one time I came with my warrior, I was like, oh my god, I can't kill her. Was it with my warrior? I don't remember. Alright, cool. So we're almost done here. What's the time? Oh wow, it's already 11. Holy shit. Time went by so fast. Yeah, I'm gonna be excited. I'm excited for Tuesday though. I'm definitely gonna try a lot of different things out. Alright, almost there. We're getting to the end of that too. Well, I mean, there's a few areas left. This one we can do really quickly. There's not a lot of enemies here. All these areas are fairly big. I've already done this one here. The estate is going to have a ton of enemies too. There's probably like 300 enemies in the estate. It usually goes like from what I've noticed, most of their stuff goes live around noon our time. That's usually when it goes live, but I think that's the earliest they do it. I think it's usually anywhere between like noon and 3. But I don't think they have like ever a specific time when they release that stuff, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, it's noon, and I go right in, like I try to like update it and there's no update to it, you know, and then I'll go at like 1 p.m. and I'll have an update all of a sudden. I'm like, okay, 1 p.m. but then sometimes it'll be right at noon. So I think it's like around noon. I'm guessing they're probably going to do it all together in one fell swoop. I think they're going to do like one update to the whole game where it has the elite specs and the DirectX 11. I will say that they have talked about it. It's an option in your graphics menu, they said, and it's you have to enable it and then you have to restart your game. Is what they said. Is there a healer? Oh, there is a healer. Kill that healer first. Oh, there's 2 healers. That's why. I was like, why are they getting healed so well? Give me that and give me that. Give me a bunch of energy back. Okay, I need... See, your spirits aren't even attacking because you're so far away. I need you to summon your spirits here, and then that way we can... Oh my god. They're out healing all the damage we're doing. Yes, attack him. Do it. Oh god. Why did you guys attack? I want to see if there's any like significant improvements with the DX11 update. I mean, should it have a huge impact on most people? I don't know. I think they released, didn't they release like a post about it or something recently? I don't know. I remember seeing something about it and I didn't actually read it because I was busy at work, and then I never went back to it or whatever. So, oh my god, apparently we're not attacking the same target here, guys. So. Oh, finally getting them dead. Jesus. 2 healers is like really strong. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how the update is for the thing. Are people gonna see like huge frame rate improvements or whatever? I don't know. I just hope it doesn't cause any more problems, because like one bug that really pisses me off, and I think we've all experienced this, is the like staying in combat bug. Even when there's no enemy around, when you're not targeting anything, when no one's attacking you, and you're still stuck in combat. Oh man, that shit pisses me the fuck off. I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I should not be in combat right now. Oh my god, we're not gonna make that particular fight because we have too many. They're just healing each other too much. Again, they're trying to attack something that they probably shouldn't attack. Not from ArenaNet. Okay. Run away. Oh, really? Okay. That would be interesting to see, I think. Huh. Well, but we don't know to what extent they're really working on that stuff, right? So it's like, oh my god, we're now dying, now we're dying. Nothing has changed. Alright, just die. Just die, guys. Like, just run in. There's a resurrection shrine right there. Literally right behind us. I want to lure one group. Can't do it while I'm dead. There we go. I don't know. I mean, that seems really interesting, and I think it's something that is really gonna help the game, because I know so many people that play on fucking potatoes still, and you know, they just, Guild Wars 2 is just terribly optimized, even on my PC, which is like pretty decent. It still like overheats my computer like crazy. I mean, it's insane sometimes, where I'm just like, wow, my computer is running really hot. And I had it where it used to like shut off my computer because it was overheated so much. I mean, granted, I didn't have, now I have it with like better airflow and stuff here and stuff, but I mean, I'm like, I'm not playing like the newest of the newest games here, like, you know, it shouldn't really do that. So yeah, so I've heard. I will get a new computer at some point in time once I have some more money. Since I've saved for it. Every time I save money for it, I spend it on something else. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, it really depends on where like ArenaNet wants to take this. Like, they're doing this update, right? And to me, that kind of screams like they're gonna be supporting Guild Wars 2 for a long time. Where they're like, you know what, we're not planning on making a Guild Wars 3, we're not planning on leaving the game like we did with Guild Wars 1, where we completely start a new game, but you know, we're sticking with Guild Wars 2, so it's gonna be nice to see that. It's gonna be really nice to have that, if that's what they're trying to do. Alright, so we finished, oh, god, sorry guys, jeez. So we finished that. Ooh, Minister chose a state. Let's do the short trail here. I think that's gonna be, oh, we can do 6 here, that's right. We can do 6 here. Nice. I get the option of having 6 people. Might just add a couple of mesmers. That should be pretty good, yeah. I don't really need another healer, but we'll have to see. Alright, let's see how many we have on this tiny little trail. Should only be about like 50, 60 or something. So, and of course, like, you know, you kind of want to take that a step further. You know, if we're talking about like graphics update, like, does that mean they can do different things? Like, can they then, at this point, like, you know, do more flashier things on screen? You know, I don't know. Like, does that, like, because I don't know what hinders them, for example, from doing like bigger models of dragons and stuff. Does that like involve that? I mean, I'm not a developer and I have no idea how any of that stuff works, so I have no clue. But I'm like, well, does that enable them to do other things in the game? Like, what doors does that open up for them as developers to do? You know, what are the boundaries that they have right now that they maybe want to cross but can't until that release comes out? You know, that would be interesting to see. Because, you know, that goes right into speculation, like, what happens after End of Dragons? Where are we going from this point on, you know? So... Oh. You know what I really like? In Guild Wars 1, I really like the not having the fogginess that Guild Wars 2 has, because you can look back. Like, I was just thinking about this. You can look back at this town, right? And you're like, oh, it's Saitong Harbor. Looks so good. In Guild Wars 2, this would all be foggy. I wouldn't be able to see that. And I really hate that. And I really like, you know, is that something they can fix too? Because I know there is the, you can have the, like, Guild Wars 2 hook where you can get rid of, like, a lot of the fog and stuff. I don't have that installed right now. But, you know, that would be something I would be interested in, to kind of, like, take the graphics to, like, maybe another step forward, you know, where it's like we can maybe do that. I would love to be able to look down a landscape and be like, oh, I can see this village at the very end. You can't do that right now in Guild Wars 2. You can't, because it's like it cuts it off. You know, I can still see Saitong Harbor from here. You know, like, I go up on the hill and I'm like, oh, look at that, it looks cool. You know, I can, like, see up there and stuff, and, like, that's awesome to me. You know, that gives it, like, so much atmosphere, which you can't really do that in Guild Wars 1, sadly, or Guild Wars 2, I mean. Like, that, those are the types of things that I question, that I think about, where I'm like, how does that improve the options of, like, the game itself, you know? Because obviously they have it in the engine where you can do that, where you can look far ahead. I don't know, I'm probably going to look into, like, getting that too, Guild Wars 2 hook. I always liked having that, because having the graphics option of, like, turning that fog off. I always hated that fog. The fog is so unnatural in the game, and honestly, like, playing without it, you see, like, it looks much prettier without it, so. Oh, a monster's eye. My inventory is full? Oh, I didn't sell stuff earlier. Okay. We can get rid of this bow staff. I'll take this eye. Alright, I think more are gonna spawn right here. Right here, actually. Yep, there they are. Called it! And, like, the fog here, for example, works, right? Because now you're looking at the valley and you can kind of see the, like, the clouds and stuff, and, you know, like, there's, like, water underneath that and stuff, and that's cool. But, like, it doesn't work if I'm looking back at a city or something and it's like, can't see anything, there's fog. Like, what the fuck? What is that? Bye, Max. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's bound to grow. Yeah, one hopes so. It'll slowly get there. It's slowly making its way up there. Painfully slow, but it's there. It's okay. You know, people just don't. Crap. There's no buyback option. I was gonna keep that claw thing or whatever that was. I don't know, people aren't super interested right now in lore stuff, I think is what it is. I think that's the reason, you know, some of the videos haven't been watched and stuff. People are just not interested in that stuff, and it's, you know, mostly the fault of there is just not a lot of lore going on right now that we can talk about, so. 16 platinum, ton of money. I think I have some warrior tomes, don't I? Elite warrior tomes somewhere. Oh, I have regular warrior tomes. Ah, there's an elite. Okay, cool. But I appreciate the vote of confidence. I have more videos coming out too. I have finished recording, I think, 2 more Could be lying. I'm not sure what released this week and what hasn't released. I even got my Grandia schedule wrong because I started releasing Thursday and Friday the episodes, which usually they're Friday and Saturday. So this week they were like a day early, both episodes. I'm like, who cares? Like, whatever. I was gonna be like, oh my god, but I'm like, who cares? You know what? No, I mean, it's not like that's bad, right? That's more like a good thing, really. Oh yeah, that's right. We're back to 4 people here. But yeah, I do have a couple episodes. Speaking of the lore mystery bits coming out, like I said, I do have that video coming out tomorrow for the staff redo on the skills. And yeah, so there's a couple of videos definitely this week. Grandia, actually, I think, guys, I think I only have 1 or 2. I think it's 1 or 2 more episodes. So it's definitely going to end this week, this coming week. This coming week is going to be the end of our Grandia playthrough. Long time in the making. Because I looked at the times when I recorded those videos and I was like 2, probably by the time that gets out 3 months ago, and I'm like, oh boy, long time, right? But super fun still. I had a great time doing all that stuff, and great game. And I have my review that I have recorded. I just haven't made a video for it yet, so that's gonna happen at some point as well. And then I'm slowly, eventually gonna look at... Wow, this guy's really fast. See him running? Jesus. I'm slowly gonna look at the next playthrough. Next playthrough being Legend of Dragoon. Legend of Dragoon, guys. Which is a super fun game. And also, once we're done with Vanquishing, I think, and I might do this next week because I don't know if people are super interested in Vanquishing on this stuff. So I did some Vanquishing. I again showed off Cantha some more. We hung out. I always like hanging out in Cantha. It's always fun. I just want people to have all these areas. Like this is the last we've seen of these areas, right? And in Guild Wars 2 we're gonna see those areas, and we're gonna be able to be like, oh my god, that's from that, and that's from here, and that's why this looks like that, and this is why that is, and blah 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 blah. So, and I kind of want people to have that in their mind, kind of the image, and for myself really too, so that I can look back and be like, oh my god, I just recently played that, and that's what that is, or whatever. Because there's a lot of areas in Path of Fire where I'm like, I didn't realize until after a while that is what it was, and I was like, oh crap, that's yesterday I wanted to do the Serpent's Ire meta event, and I realized that the floating platform was taken over by the brand and stuff, and you can actually see the actual middle of the platform and stuff that you see in that mission, the garden mission that you have in in Nightfall and stuff. And I was like, oh my god, I never noticed that that's what that is. I just never connected the dots on that. So yeah, it was really cool. Alright, we're doing good so far. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this now. I was going to say something else, but I forgot. But yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more lore stuff to talk about once we actually get closer to it. I really want them to kind of tease some of the stuff too. which they did with like, well, Path of Fire didn't really have like a long period of time between the announcement and release, of course. So there wasn't a lot of like time in between. But I think like Heart of Thorns, for example, we had like a giant content drought, but we did have the blog posts every week talking about like the Hylek and talking about like, you know, the Exalted or whatever, you know, and it was just like, ooh, what are we gonna get? What lore tidbits are we gonna get now? And they have avoided all of that, you know. They've talked a little bit about the Jade. They talked a little bit about the Amber, which is something that I haven't talked about at all, because I never thought that it would turn into something important. You know, it's interesting because when you look at the Jade Sea, a lot of stuff has to do with digging up the Jade, right? And finding creatures in the Jade and stuff. And, you know, the Elite mission has to do with pretty much going to the deepest part of the mine where they mine Jade. Like, a lot of it has to do with, like, the Jade, the Dragon Jade, right? And you go in and they do all this stuff. And then, like, the Amber is, like, the counterpart, which is from the, you know, the Echowild Forest. But, like, there isn't that much that's being talked about specifically with Amber, right? You go through the forest and there's not like amber deposits or something. There's not like mines anywhere. There's not like things that like talk about it. I mean, you have like certain, you know, you have the like the PvP missions and stuff that you can do there that have to do with the amber and stuff, but like overall, like even the Elite mission, which like the Luxon Elite mission, the Deep, has to do with going into the Jade mine, into the mine, right? Into the Jade Sea, into where they mine that stuff, right? And then you have Urga's Warren, which just deals with Urgas, and it doesn't, as far as I know, it doesn't have anything to do with the different, with like the Amber and stuff. So it's kind of like, they didn't talk about it at all, but then now all of a sudden it becomes important because the Bladesworn uses bullets made out of amber. I'm like, oh, so is that going to become important? Is the Amber going to be the counterpart to the Jade or something? Is that what we're going to use to like fight the evil lady with the Jade or something? I don't know. Or utilize it in some way anyways. Who knows? You never know. Oh, no, I didn't even do that. Oh boy. Jesus, there's so many enemies in this map. Luckily, they don't have any healers. I think they do have some of them have like healing skills and stuff, but overall they don't really have a healer. So it's very like easy to kill them. I don't know if the necromancers can heal or have some kind of like well or something. Ooh, only 30 minutes left. Let's see if we can't get this done. I don't think we can get this done in 30 minutes, but who knows. I'm gonna try anyways. Oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to say about the live stream now that I'm drinking my water. The whole idea with the guy drinking water and stuff. So this time around, right, they still had the jokes of like, oh, make sure that the guy, you know, he has to drink water. It's so funny, you know, whatever. It's got pretty stupid pretty fast. But he like the first stream, he needed water like every 3 seconds, right? And that's where the joke came from, because he needed to drink every, like, he couldn't talk anymore. And then for this stream, he wasn't that bad. Like, he didn't need to drink. Like, he was going and he was fine. And then people kept on saying, give the guy some water. He needs some water. I'm like, he's doing fine. Like, he doesn't need water. He's doing okay. Like, he has a little bit of a raspy voice, but I'm sure that's okay. Like, he's not going to die. You know, I'm the same way. Like, my voice gets super raspy too after talking for 2 hours, you know, nonstop and stuff. And I drink probably not enough water. Like, I probably should be drinking more water than I do, but it's not like you guys can't understand what I'm saying, you know, where it gets to the point where, like, what does he say? Or, like, I'm constantly coughing or, like, clearing my throat or something. Like, I do that, yes, because it is a lot to do that, to talk and stuff. But, you know, it's not like he did really well, I think. Like, specifically this time around, he did, so. I'm not collecting any items. Fuck that. Especially white items. No one needs them. Okay, we can't go through there? Really? There's enemies behind here, but I can't go through. Okay. That's fine. We'll go through the other gate on that side over there. But yeah, I don't know. I do have videos coming out for the channel. Let me know. I always tell you guys to let me know if there's anything in particular you guys want me to talk about. You know, people... Man, you can travel all the way there. Like, it's a big area. That bridge is really cool. I like that bridge. You know, you guys were asking for more, like... more Cantha stuff, but I don't know what to do. I still haven't gotten any inspiration to do any Cantha stuff. I don't know really what to talk about. I don't know what's gonna be important. Like, oh, it's like, is the plague, is the affliction gonna be very important? Is, like, what's gonna be important? I don't know. I don't want to talk about stuff that, like, might not get it. Like, my whole theory with the Wardens, I'm just really scared of that completely, like, being thrown away and be like, oh yeah, the Wardens were wiped out when the Army of Purity came and they don't even exist anymore. And then I'll be like, I did all that, had all this great, like, theory stuff going on, only for it to, like, not pay off. And that would suck. Which doesn't mean it never has to come back and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. And then I did the, I don't know, like, this is the other side. They could have just opened the gate. This is literally the other side of it. They could have just opened it. Why didn't they open that? It's so weird. I'm gonna go this way and do the stuff in the cave over here. But yeah, I don't, I did the action camera video, you know, I was like, I sometimes step outside of my comfort zone that way, where I'm like, you know what, I really feel like making this. Like, I feel like there hasn't really been an action camera video, right? There haven't been that many videos about that, you know, and I try to do videos, even this, like, redo of the elementalist weapon skills, I don't think that that's very demanded. And I'm probably gonna go out on a like I don't know, I'm gonna go out there and kind of put that video out there, and because I really want to see what other people think about that. So it's probably something that I might post on Reddit, actually, and just to see what other people think. I'm just kind of scared to have people, like, completely bash the shit that I do, because that happens to me a lot when I'm on Reddit. I'm like, eh. Like, now you made me hate myself even more, and I don't like it. Alright, we have the Temku Caverns. Let's go in there. It's a big area. It's really big. Like, we haven't done this little area too, so it's missing there. It's a weapon spell that he has on. Has to be Spirit Light weapon. No. Huh? Who's using a weapon spell on him then? Yeah, I don't know. Looks like there was a weapon spell on him, but I don't know. Good luck has it on him, but I don't know what it is. Or does he spawn with a random weapon? I thought he always spawned with Sahothan. I guess he doesn't? This is a bug? Is that supposed to happen? Isn't he supposed to spawn with Sahothan? I thought that was one of those weapons that you get from like the ritualistic weapon skills? Weapon spirits? Weapons? Whatever they're called. There's a whole ship in here. That's kind of crazy. I wonder what that says. Is that even a language, or is that just like random scribbling? That is made to look like it's Asian. Ooh, sorry guys. Jesus. Like once you like slow down on the talking, you just get tired. Oh no, I died. Whoa. How did I even die? Oh god. Oh, nice. Bashed him. Get him. Get the peasant. Okay, so we're done in this cave. It's not a very big cave. It's a very small cave. But we have to get all the stuff on the beach, and this goes all the way up to up there. So we have to get this whole area full of enemies, and we have to go up there, and then you have to go along there. And there's like enemies along all this. I already know all that, so yeah, let's do it. Let's do this thing. But I really like this map. It's really pretty. You know, you get, again, it's like Xingjie has so many of those different environments. You know, there's a little forest right here, and then you have a cave up there, and then we're going down to a beach now. And then you have like, you know, we're going through like this hilly, like cliffy side, you know, side. You have mountains with snow, and you have like, you know, plains, like open plains and stuff, waterfalls in certain areas and stuff, like, again, beaches with some bigger cliffs and stuff. I mean, all that stuff is like, it's so different, and I really like it. So many different environments. I like seeing all those different environments. Like, the jungle was all jungle, and then the desert was all desert, and it was like just different kinds of deserts and different kinds of jungles and different scenarios and blah blah. But you know, Cantha specifically has so many different environments, so many different things that they could do with it. Oh, I don't know why I'm getting tired. Jesus. All right, I'm going through the forest. I don't know how far. Oh god, there's enemies right here. It's like, I don't know how far down. Whoa, can you get up there? Can you get up to that? That would be really cool. I don't think you can, but it has a little path that leads up to that building, whatever that's supposed to be. Lighthouse? It doesn't really look like a lighthouse. We didn't aggro the other group. I thought we did, and I was like, we're so gonna die. And there's no, and the last resurrection point is over there, but then they have one that is really close by, and I'm like, why did they do it like that? That's probably because of the mission. Where like in the mission you have to like go around, and then you don't even get there. You get like, you go around and stuff. But you like wipe in a mission if you like die, so I don't know. That doesn't make sense really then. Just because of the open world. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So let's look at this down here. Did mine talk you into that? Oh, look at the sea star. Patrick. That's cool. I want to go there. Where's my skimmer when I need it? Because I think, like, I say that because I think, wasn't Mind making a celestial firebrand? I mean, I think it's has potential to be really good, because the firebrand, specifically the guardian, like, they do so much, right? You do like conditions, and you do boons, and you do damage, and you heal. Like, there's so much that the firebrand can do, and that's why I think, like, specifically the like elementalist, for example, I think falls behind on a lot of that stuff, because you really have the potential of doing a ton of damage on top of healing for a ton, all at the same time. With the elementalist, it's always a trade-off. You always have to, like, oh, let me fire tune to do damage. Oh, let me water tune where I do no damage in order to heal some. And then let me, like, switch into earth in order to do some control stuff or inflict some more conditions or something. And then, like, let me swap into air so that I can get, like, quickness, like, or like swiftness or whatever, and can move faster. And it's always a trade-off, because it's like, okay, well, you don't do as much damage on it. And I think why Weaver is so popular is because that is less apparent on the Weaver. You still do really good damage on the, like, or decent damage on the other specs, but you're just really squishy. So I want something long range. So hence I did. It sounds really fun. It sounds like sounds like it has a high survivability, and, like, just gets a ton of, like I said, it's just, you get so much out of the firebrand that I think it will be really nice to like do celestial. I think it'll really work out, because it's like the firebrand can be, if you spec it right, be a master of, like, condition damage, or a master of quickness, or a master of healing, or a master of, like, even applying, like, stability and resistance and stuff if you want to do something offensive. But I think that it can be a jack of all trades if you do celestial. Okay, so I have to go, because I think that, isn't there enemies all the way up here? Yeah, there is. Okay. So stupid. You have to go all the way out here. Ooh. Come on. Stop it. Nice. Well, that's good. Yeah, I need to get some more. I need to get some more season 3 materials because I used a lot of them on some of the builds that I have now. So even with Season of Dragons, I'm completely out of that stuff that I had there. So I need to do some more Draconis Mons and get some stuff like that. You know, I need a couple rings and stuff. So I'll be doing some of that at some point to get. I really want to try out this like Zealot Druid, and it's really funny because someone actually suggested that when the Druid first came out, like 6 years ago on the forum, someone was like, "Oh, how about a Zealot Druid?" And they were just like, "No, that's never gonna really work because it's only really used in like raids." And I'm like, "But you know what? I love using healing in open world too because it just helps. People get down so quickly in open world because they don't know how dodging works and they don't know how those things work and stuff. So it's nice to just help out with that." Come on. Kill him. I have died. Yeah, you have to kind of go around. You can kind of see the path that it leads there. All right, so we went in like almost a circle. I'm gonna go further this way, finish up the circle there, get the enemies, go up here. And then we gotta do the middle section. I think I forgot some enemies down there too. So, wow, I'm dead. Holy crap! Get those warriors. Get these warriors here, guys. Kill him. Nice. Get that guy. Oh god, our healer died too. Awesome. And the legionnaire died. Awesome. Oh, are we gonna survive this? Oh, we are. Maybe we are. Maybe we're not. I don't know. We'll see about that. But we're only at 139. I would have imagined a lot more enemies on this map. Well, it's also because there's smaller groups. Because I'm thinking of like the groups that it usually, like usually the maps have like big groups and stuff. And I'm like, okay, well there's one group, there's two groups. Like in other maps, that's like consists of like, 6, 7, 8 people. Where here it's like 1 to 3 people. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Nice. No! The minions are enemies now. It's never good. That's never good. Oh god, we're dying. Hide behind the spirits. He doesn't have a revival skill? He does not. Okay, so we're kind of boned. Alright, well, let's see if we can't at least... Hell yeah. I'm gonna die. Okay, come up here so you can please die. So silly. So silly. Well, we got resurrected anyways. Let's go the other way. Jesus, are we all doing that bad? No, I'm the one that's died the most. Let's go over the bridge. Let's go over the bridge and deal with these peasants. Sickened peasant, die! Wow, I did 198. I don't care to pick up that weapon. So I think I'm gonna attack the necromancer. I did that earlier, and that seemed to work pretty well. I have a feeling the afflicted probably do more damage than the other guys do. Come on. Come on. Kill him. I'm gonna have to backtrack again, won't I? Because I went the wrong way. Keep on going the wrong way the whole time. Ooh, nice. I'm doing them all. Get that guard. Close range and hard mode or melee enemies are so hard. Kill him. Kill him. Alright, let's get these guys. There's no bosses either, which is weird. I only see some of them really in some of these maps. It's like where I think like Quarteria and like even Nightfall had like a lot more bosses. Factions doesn't have that many. Echovod Forest and Jade Sea have okay amounts, like decent amount, but kill these two, then we can turn around. There's a sickened bear where we already were. So we're definitely gonna have to backtrack. Oh, nice. So, well, actually, I'm gonna, while I'm here, because I would hate to like go all the way down and then turn back around. I'm gonna go down here into this area because I think I forgot some people here. And then kind of journey my way down here and then across here and then across the bridge and then go to where we died. Kind of like that. And do a little turn around that way. Turn around that way. Yeah, there's that sickened bear. Oh, I was gonna see if I forgot any on this side. So, I think there's enemies down here. Is there not? There's not. Yeah, it's weird because there's like these houses and stuff. Oh, I didn't forget anyone here. Yeah, because in the, yeah, there's, these are, I guess, these are the people that work in the estate. They live there. So, let's get that sickened bear. And then we have done this part, and then we have done this part. We have done most of that part. So we just pretty much have that. Yeah, all the rest of the animals and stuff we need to get. Oh god, I don't know why I cast that. Go, go, go. Okay, Warthog, go, die. You shouldn't be that hard to kill either. They do pretty decent damage, but I don't think they have a way to heal themselves, because they're like, I mean they're warriors, but still I don't think they have self-healing. Okay. Bear and a lynx. I remember these groups being a lot bigger, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them being little. Because then they die faster too. They don't have any healing skills and stuff. So they just die really quickly. Yeah, let's get all three of them. Look at that. Nice. Perfect. And now they're running around. Oh my god, they're like, oh my god, the Chaos Storm! Get it out of here! Oh no! Kill him! I don't care for your lives. Okay, no enemies down there. Nope. Going on this side. Sickened Moa. Okay. I don't know how many are on the beach down there. This is a fairly larger group. These are all wolves. Wolf pack. Oh, there's a sickened bear that joined the party. I do have a sickened bear and a wolf in common. They both want to have my head. Both want to eat me alive. Alright, there's some scribes. These are a little bit harder than the animals. Ow, I got knocked down. By pain? No. I don't know what knocked him down. I couldn't even tell you. I have no idea. No idea. Alright, so I'm gonna end this poll here. Maybe. One person said maybe, two people said yes. So we like them. Okay. The live streams aren't bad, I don't think, per se. I think they can improve on some of the stuff. Maybe theorize on some of the stuff too. Like, I think they could really improve on some of that stuff, where they can really get into more detail. Like, I get that maybe they don't want to do longer than an hour and a half, and they were like rushing through that stuff. By the end of it, they're like, well, we gotta get through this, you know, whatever. But I don't know. I really think that they should have maybe like maybe make like an after show where you have someone like Theorycraft or something, where they're like, okay, well now that you've seen it, we're gonna switch over to this other person, a different developer that's gonna show you like some of the builds that you can make with this or something. That would be kind of cool. I mean, I guess that's what the beta weekends are for. They want us to like try it out ourselves. But yeah, I don't know. I can't wait for the siege turtle though. That's gonna be super fun to try out. It's gonna be so much fun to try out. Wow, Ogden, you're just getting bashed. Ogden is not a fan favorite today. They do not like him. Alright, we're almost there. Perfect, and it's almost midnight. So this works out perfectly, doesn't it? Works out perfectly. Alright, so there is bottle of grog. Let's get this necromancer here first. Yeah, knocked out. Usually you knocked him down. He didn't knock him down. I don't think he did. Didn't look like he did. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go around and go back down to the beach, but I'm gonna get these guys up here. So there's over 200 enemies on this map. So we already went that way up there, so we just have to go around and pretty much kill. Is that group we died to earlier? The two people that I attacked that I died to by myself once after everyone was done? Probably. Of course, it's a little bit different now. Or maybe it's those two. Who knows? Yeah. Nice. How long does this last? Each second. Doesn't tell you, does it? Oh, no, right here. 10 seconds. That's actually really nice. Oh no, it's these guys, right? That's what I died to. Is this it? Is this the last two? Ooh, this is probably it, guys. Let's see. Say probably, because God knows with a map like this, there could always be more people somewhere. No, we did it. Nice. Perfect timing. So we only have 2 areas left. And then I have all of these areas still left. I probably will skip these. I'm not going to do them. There's 3 areas here. I'll probably do them off screen. I'll tell you about them. But we'll probably do something different next Sunday. I kind of want to do something else. So we'll probably do something Pokemon related or something. I might start a new playthrough or something of some sort that I want to do. We'll see. I don't know what I'm in the mood for. I'll have to sit down because there was a thing that I wanted to do like months ago that I talked about, but I never did. So I might actually go and do that instead. But yeah, we'll see. And then tomorrow we're doing more pacifist stuff, so that's definitely happening tomorrow. We're getting there with stuff. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you for everyone that came in and discussed the elite specs. If you're interested in those, I will be live streaming on Tuesday all day. I will be live probably for like 4 or 5 hours. I'll probably go live around like 1 to 2 p.m. somewhere around that, and I'll just try out different builds and stuff. And yeah, and then I have a video coming on the channel tomorrow, late tonight or tomorrow, for the elementalist staff skills and stuff. I want to talk about those, and yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.